But first, a couple of Aussie legends died over the past few days. Andrew Peacock and Isi Leibler. Isi Leibler was the great Jewish Australian conservative commentator, and I was honoured to have had some correspondence with Isi after he wrote to me thanking me for some of my commentary here on Outsiders and in The Spectator Australia. Melanie Phillips wrote this week. The death in Jerusalem of Isi Leibler at the age of 86 has robbed the Jewish world of one of its towering figures at a time when it is particularly ill-equipped for such a loss. Isi Leibler sent out a regular email, which always made for compulsive reading. 2018, he pointed out how over recent decades, the far left has become viciously anti-Israeli, even supporting terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, and depicting Israel as an imperialist occupier. This trend reached a climax, Isi wrote, under US President Barack Obama, who made overtures to the Iranians, that's back again, and treated Israel politically as a rogue state. Yet, Isi wrote, barely a single mainstream Jewish leader had the courage to stand up and protest Obama's bias against Israel and his constant bracketing of Israeli defensive actions as morally equivalent to the actions of terrorists. Despite this, Isi lamented, American Jews were among Obama's greatest supporters. Here is Isi Leibler talking about the insidious Boycott, Divest and Sanctions movement, BDS, promoted around the world by people like Roger Waters, hardcore Greens, and many on the mainstream left.
If anything reflects anti-Semitism, it's the BDS movement, because Israel is singled out. And Israel is a unique country. It's like an oasis here in a sea of barbarism. And we are being kind of isolated by people who claim to be concerned about human rights. These people are turning towards Israel and ignoring the mayhem and the millions of people who have been displaced and killed around them and concentrating on the Jews. This, to me, is quite open anti-Semitism.
What Isi Leibler must have made of the past few months under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I hate to think. And then on Friday came the sad news that Andrew Peacock had died, aged 82. I was lucky to work very briefly with Andrew Peacock a long time ago when I made some rather lame TV ads for the Liberal Party in the 1990 election. Andrew was a very funny bloke in private, but his minders despaired at how wooden he always appeared in front of the camera. So, as a young up-and-coming TV director, I had just finished filming some ads for Smith's Chips. You remember the gobbledoc, that weird little furry creature running around going, "Chippies!" Yes, that was some of my handiwork. And the creative director at the ad agency said, Chippies said, "Well, Rowan, if you can make a gobbledoc look natural in front of the camera, you can probably do the same for Andrew Peacock." And so I got the job. We spent a week filming the ads in and around Sydney, and it was a lot of fun. Andrew Peacock had a great sense of larrikin humour, and I was astonished how brilliantly he joked around with everyone, completely at odds with his reputation as the aloof colt from Kooyong.